Okay, so this week we talked about the urinary system. So to begin with, here's my picture drawing out the system. So the major organs, of course, are your two kidneys that produce the urine, your ureters that transport the urine to your bladder, where it is held, and eventually it is excreted through the urethra out of the body. I'm getting a little bit closer snapshot here. We have, this is of course looking at one kidney, we have the orange, which is your cortex that kind of makes up the lining of the kidneys, your renal pelvis. Here the yellow on the inside is connecting to those little kind of brown sacs. Those are our medullas, which hold little nephrons in them, which is kind of that black up there. And that, of course, is where the urine is actually produced, and then it travels down the yellow tube here, which is your ureter. You can see your renal artery going into the kidney carrying oxygenated blood, and the blue renal vein carrying deoxygenated blood out. And then kind of peeking a little bit closer here at the nephron. So urine is actually produced in the Bowman's capsule by glomerule. I can't say that, glomerular filtration. So the blood is coming in here and it's filtering out the waste products and everything. It'll then travel through the proximal convoluted tube, where some of that is actually reabsorbed, so not everything goes into urine. Some of it is reabsorbed by the body. And it'll come down into that loop of Henle that we learned about in our lab, and just kind of travel through that nephron until it actually has that collection of urine. And remember, this is located inside the medulla. Then that urine will travel through the ureter, where it's held in the bladder. And then once the bladder becomes full, I guess I can flip back here. Once the bladder becomes full, it will contract and relax, and that is actually how your urine is released to the urethra, where you, of course, pee, and the urine is expelled by the body. And then, let me get this turned around. Okay, and then I kind of already mentioned it, but we wanted to touch on it again. So I gotta decide which picture will be best. You do have two main blood vessels going to the kidneys. So here in the red, we have our renal artery, which is carrying oxygenated blood to the kidneys. Of course, all your organs and everything needs oxygen to function appropriately. And then the blue is your renal veins, which is carrying the waste products away from the kidneys to, of course, travel through our circulatory system to be exhaled by the lungs. Oh, and then we did want to talk about some problems that can arise with the urinary system. You can actually get kidney stones, which will typically occur in the medulla. So they're just kind of little hard balls of minerals and salt. It can, like I said, form there in the medulla, which then can block that passage of urine. Again, can be very painful. You can need to have surgical intervention if it's not able to pass. So very important to watch your diet, encourage health to make sure you don't develop these kidney stones. And then the other one we wanted to talk about is one that I am familiar with. It is a urinary tract infection. So harmful bacteria, my picture's upside down. Harmful bacteria can get into your ureters and actually cause inflammation and an infection. So as I said, it'll cause inflammation, it can cause pain, you can even have bloody urine going through, very painful. Sometimes you need antibiotics to clear it up. Some people recommend drinking cranberry juice to aid in the health of your urinary system, but definitely something that causes frequent urination, painful urination, and it's just not something pleasant that you want to go through. As we learned, the kidneys are responsible for many things: the production of red blood cells, maintaining our blood pressure, removing waste products. So we definitely want to do everything we can to keep our urinary system in good health and our kidneys functioning properly. So that is our urinary system this week. Thank you.